In the previous lecture, we had started discussing about the numericals of Unit 1. So we had covered the numericals on the Young's double slit experiment. Now the next numerical, it is on the Lloyd's single mirror experiment. So we are given that in Lloyd's single mirror experiment, the source slit, it is at a perpendicular distance of 1.5 millimeter from the plane mirror. Now what is the construction of Lloyd's single mirror? So there is a single plane mirror which is present and there is a source S1. So light from this source S1, it directly falls on the screen, as well as the light from the source S1, it gets reflected from the plane mirror, and after reflection it falls on the screen. So these two wavefronts, they interfere with each other and interference pattern is observed on the screen. Now we are given that this source S1, this is the real source. This source S1, it is at a perpendicular distance of 1.5 millimeter. So this is the perpendicular distance of this source from the plane mirror, and this is given as 1.5 millimeter. And we had seen in the topic of Lloyd single mirror that a virtual image of this source is formed directly below S1. So directly below S1, a virtual image of this source is formed, which is at an equal distance from the plane mirror. So this is the virtual source, let's say that is S2. So this distance will also be equal to 1.5 millimeter from the plane mirror. So these two distance S1 and S2, they are at an equal distance from the plane mirror. Now the light directly it falls on the screen from the S1, and the reflected light, it appears to be coming from the source S2. So this was the theory that we had done in the topic of Lloyd single mirror experiment, that the light it directly falls on the screen from the source S1, and the light which gets reflected from the plane mirror, it appears to be coming from the source S2, and this virtual source S2, it is at an equal distance from the plane mirror as this source S1, it is at an equal distance from this plane mirror. So these two distances, they will be same. So the total distance, so these two sources, they will act like coherent sources. So the distance between these sources will be equal to 1.5 millimeter plus 1.5 millimeter. So the small d, which is the distance between the two sources, two coherent sources, it will be equal to 1.5 millimeter plus 1.5 millimeter. So that will be equal to 3 millimeter. So in terms of meters, it will be equal to 3 into 10 power minus 3 meters. So now we know what is the distance between the two sources. Next we are given that the interference fringes which are obtained, they are at a distance of 1 meter from the slit. So now this is the slit and this is the screen. Now fringes, they are obtained on the screen, and we are given that the interference fringes, they are at a distance of 1 meter from the slit. So we are given the distance of the screen from the source. So we are given capital D. So capital D is given as 1 meter. So it is the distance of the screen from the slit. And they have a separation of 0.2 millimeter. We are given that interference fringes, they are at a distance of 1 meter from the slit, and they have a separation of 0.2 millimeter. Now the interference fringes, they are composed of bright and dark fringes. Now we are given that the separation between the two consecutive bright or the dark fringes is equal to 0.2 millimeter. So in simple manner we can say that we are given the fringe width. So we are given beta, which is equal to 0.2 millimeter. So we are given with the fringe width, and in terms of meter it will be 0.2 into 10 power minus 3 meters. Now we are asked to find the wavelength of the light. So we will use the simple formula of the relation of fringe width, capital D, small d and lambda. So the beta fringe width, it is equal to lambda into capital D upon small d. So this is the formula of calculating the fringe width. So from here we want to find is lambda. So lambda will be equal to beta into small d divided by capital D. So we can put the various values that we are given. What is beta? It is 0.2 into 10 power minus 3 meters. What is small d? It is the distance between the sources S1 and S2, and it is 3 into 10 power minus 3 meters divided by capital D, which is 1 meter. So keep in mind that all the units that we are using, they are in SI system. So on evaluating this, it will come out to be equal to 6 into 10 power minus 7 meters. So lambda, it comes out to be 6 into 10 power minus 7 meters, or you can say it will be equal to 6,000 Armstrong. So it will be equal to 6,000 into 10 power minus 10 meters, and 10 power minus 10 meters is nothing but 1 Armstrong. So the lambda wavelength will be equal to 6,000 Armstrong. Now the next numerical, it is on the Fresnel's biprism. So we are asked to find the separation between the two coherent sources. So we are asked to find small d. So small d has to be found out. And we are given that we have to find the separation between the coherent sources formed by the biprism whose inclined faces make an angle of 1 degree with its base. So how the Fresnel biprism is drawn? So this is the Fresnel biprism, and this is the angle of the prism, and this is the angle which is made by the inclined face with the base of the prism. So we are given the inclined faces, they make an angle of 1 degree with its base. So basically we are given this angle. So when we had done the topic of Fresnel biprism, we had represented this angle by alpha. So we are given alpha is equal to 1 degree in this numerical. Now the slit source being 10 centimeter from the biprism. So there we had placed one source S, and the distance of the source from the biprism is given as 10 centimeter. So when we had discussed this topic of biprism, this distance of the source from the biprism, it was represented by small a. So and we are given with the refractive index of the material of the biprism, it is equal to 1.5. So we are given alpha is equal to 1 degrees. We are given small a is equal to 10 centimeter, and we are given mu is equal to 1.5. And we are asked to find what is the separation between the two coherent sources. Now when the light it gets refracted from the biprism, there we had seen that two coherent sources are obtained, two virtual images of this real source S are obtained. One is S1 and another virtual image is S2. So we have to find the separation between these two virtual sources, which is given by small d. So these will be the coherent sources, and they will act like the two slits in the Young's double slit experiment. So this whole experiment, it is similar to the Young's double slit experiment, where S1 and S2, these are the virtual images, and they will act like the slits in the Young's double slit experiment. So we have to find the separation between these two sources. So the formula that we had derived in the deviation method to find the distance between these two sources. So there we had studied that two methods, they give us the separation of the two sources. One was the displacement method, where we use the convex lens, and another method to find small d is the deviation method, where we use the concept of angle of deviation. So d is equal to, so in the method of using the angle of deviation, there we had deduced the formula that d is equal to the separation between the two sources, it is equal to twice of mu minus 1 into alpha, which is the angle of the prism, times a, and a is the distance of the sources from the biprism. So this formula we had derived in the deviation method to find the distance between the two coherent sources. So over here we will convert every term in terms of SI unit system. So now A is equal to 10 centimeter. So 1 centimeter is equal to 10 power minus 2 meters. So 10 into 10 power minus 2 meters. Now we are given the angle in terms of degrees. So we have to convert the angle in radians. So you cannot use this directly, this value of the angle directly. You have to convert it into radians and only then you can put it in this formula. So we have to find what is 1 degree equal to. So how many radians is 1 degree equal to? So now we know 180 degree it is equal to pi radians. So 180 degrees it corresponds to pi radians and 1 degree will be equal to pi by 180 radians. So alpha is equal to 1 degree and it is equal to pi by 180 radians. So we will put all the values that we know. So small d will be equal to twice of mu minus 1. Now what is mu? It is equal to 1.5 minus 1 into alpha. So alpha is equal to pi by 180 into small a. Now what is small a? It is 10 power. So 10 into 10 power minus 2 will be equal to 10 power minus 1 meters. So d it will come out to be in terms of meters. So from here when you will evaluate these values, it will come out to be 0.00174 meters, which is nothing but 1.74 millimeters. So this is the separation between these two virtual sources which are formed in the experiment of the Fresnel's biprism. The next numericals that we are going to discuss, they are based on the Michelson interferometer experiment. So we are given that if a shift of 200 fringes is observed when movable mirror in the Michelson interferometer experiment, it is shifted through 0.0589 millimeters. So now when we had discussed the Michelson interferometer experiment, there we had seen the light from the source, it gets divided, the amplitude of the light gets divided and the two light rays, they interfere with each other and interference pattern is obtained on the screen. And there we had also discussed that when the distance, when one of the mirror is moved, when one of the two mirrors M1 or M2 it is moved, the fringe pattern it changes. So the fringes, they collapse or they expand according to the distance, according to the position of the mirror, if it is brought near to the beam splitter or it is moved away from the beam splitter. So according to the position of the movable mirror, if you are decreasing the distance or you are increasing the distance from the beam splitter, so the fringes, they will collapse or they will expand, and hence the fringes will shift. Now we are given that if a shift of 200 fringes is observed when the movable mirror is shifted through 0.0589 millimeter. Now the mirror, it is moved by this much distance, then it is seen that 200 fringes on the screen, they shift. Find the wavelength of the light which is used in the Michelson interferometer. So using this data that we are given, that 200 fringes they shift when the movable mirror it is moved through this much distance. So we have to find the wavelength of the light. So in the topic of the applications of Michelson interferometer, there we had covered how to find the wavelength of the light. So to find the wavelength of the light, the formula that we had derived, it was equal to lambda is equal to twice of d2 minus d1 divided by small m. Now d2 it is the final position of the mirror movable mirror and D1 is the initial position of the movable mirror. So D2 minus D1, it will give us the distance by which the mirror has moved. So this will give us the distance by which the mirror has been moved, and we are given the distance. The movable mirror is shifted through 0.0589 millimeter. So we are given D2 minus D1. So we are directly given D2 minus D1 is equal to 0.0589 millimeters, and M, it is the number of fringes that shift. So in this formula that we had derived, D2 minus D1, it gives us the distance by which the mirror is moved, and divide by number of the fringes that has been shifted according to the movement of the mirror. So we will put all the values that we are given. So lambda will be equal to twice of D2 minus D1, and it is directly given as 0.589 millimeters. So we will convert it into meters. It will be into 10 power minus 3 meters. Divide by the number of fringes that has been shifted, it is equal to 200. So divide by 200. So it will be equal to 5890 into 10 power minus 10 meters. So lambda will come out to be in terms of meters. So this can be written as 5890 Armstrong. So this is the wavelength of the light, and this is one of the applications of the Michelson interferometer, that it helps us in finding the wavelength of the source. Now the next numerical is that in Michelson interferometer, a shift of 100 fringes is observed on introduction of a glass plate. So this is also based on one of the applications that we had done, that Michelson interferometer, it helps us in finding the refractive index of the medium or refractive index of the plate which is introduced in the path of the light. And when the plate is introduced, there we had seen that when a glass plate or any plate is introduced in the path of the plate, the optical path of the light changes, and hence there is a shift of the fringes. So we are given that a shift of 100 fringes is observed on introduction of a glass plate, and we are given the wavelength of the light as 4000 Armstrong, and thickness of the glass plate is also given, which is equal to 0.2 millimeter. So using this data, that when a glass plate of thickness 0.2 millimeter is introduced in the path of the light whose wavelength is 4000 Armstrong, so when this is done, it is seen that the fringes, 100 fringes, they shift on the screen, and using this data we have to find the refractive index of the glass. So the formula that we had derived in that topic, so mu comes out to be equal to m into lambda divided by 2t plus 1. So this formula we had derived in the applications of the Michelson interferometer. Now mu it is the refractive index of the plate which is introduced, m is the number of fringes that has been shifted on the screen, lambda is the wavelength of the light, t is the thickness of the plate which is introduced. So we are given with every parameter. So here we are given every parameter. Now what is m? It is 100, because we are given 100 fringes they are shifting. Into lambda, what is the wavelength? It is 4000 Armstrong. So in terms of meters, it will be 4000 into 10 power minus 10 meters divided by 2 into thickness. So we are given thickness of the plate as 0.2 millimeter. So in terms of meters, it will be 0.2 into 10 power minus 3 meters. So meter and meter it will cancel, plus 1 it will remain as it is. So on evaluating this value, it will come out to be equal to 0.1 plus 1 as it is. So it will be equal to 1.1. So refractive index of the glass plate, it comes out to be equal to 1.1. Now next numerical is also based on the application of the Michelson interferometer, that it helps us in finding the difference in the two wavelengths. So that it helps us in finding delta lambda. So a source of light, for example the sodium lamp. The sodium lamp, it emits two wavelengths of the lights. which are 5890 Angstrom and 5896 Angstrom. So sodium lamp, it emits two wavelengths of light of these particular number. So we have to find the distance between the two successive positions of the movable mirror of Michelson interferometer, giving the best fringes in the case of sodium light. So in the applications of Michelson interferometer, we had seen that when there is a single wavelength of light used, we get a one fringe pattern on the screen. So if lambda 1 is taken as the incident ray, so here we had said that the source of sodium lamp, it consists of two wavelength of light. So for time being, let's say we have only single wavelength of light. So we have done in Michelson interferometer that if we have a single wavelength of light, then we get one fringe pattern on the screen. So if we have another wavelength of light simultaneously along with the lambda 1, so if there is another wavelength of light present in the source, then also we will get another fringe pattern. So when we have two wavelength of light which are coming from the same source at the same time, then two fringe patterns are obtained on the screen. So these two fringe patterns, they will overlap with each other. So if we have two wavelengths, so we will get two fringe patterns on the screen, and when observed, the two fringe patterns, they will overlap with each other. So if the maxima of one, it falls on the minima of the another, then no distinct fringes are observed on the screen. So this we had already done in the applications of Michelson interferometer, that when the maxima of one wavelength, it falls on minima of the another wavelength, then no fringe pattern will be observed on the screen. The whole screen will be uniformly illuminated with light. Now when the mirror is moved, when the M1 mirror is moved, both the fringe patterns, they change, because as we have seen, as the mirror M1 it is moved, the fringes, they shift, they either collapse or they expand. So both the fringe patterns, they will change as the mirror is moved. So one position of mirror is obtained when maxima of one fringe pattern, it falls on maxima of another fringe pattern, and minima of first wavelength, it falls on minima of the second. So in that case, distinct fringes will be obtained on the screen, and this occurs only because of the movement of the mirror M1, because on moving the mirror M1, the fringe patterns, they either collapse or they expand. So we will obtain distinct fringes when mirror M1 is moved. So let's say that position of the mirror is D1. Now again the mirror is continuously moved in the same direction. Again the condition will be reached when maxima of one, it will fall on minima of the another, and again the fringe pattern will disappear, and again the mirror is continuously moved in the same direction. So again another distance of the mirror is obtained when the distinct fringe pattern, it again appears on the screen, that is maxima of one, it falls on maxima of another, and minima of one, it falls on minima of another, and this process, it occurs only due to the movement of the mirror M1. So we get two distances of the mirror M1 where we get distinct fringes, and this difference in the two distances has to be calculated in this numerical. So we have asked to calculate the distance between the two successive positions of the movable mirror. So we have two successive positions of the movable mirror, and we have to find the separation. We have to find D1 minus D2. Giving the best fringes. Best fringes means giving the distinct fringes. That is, at these distances, the fringes are distinctly observed. In the case of sodium light, having lines lambda is equal to 5890 Angstrom and 5896 Angstrom. So we are given with two wavelengths, lambda 1 and lambda 2. So we will use the formula of delta lambda that we had derived in that topic. So delta lambda is equal to lambda square divided by 2d. So d, it is the distance between, it is the distance between the two successive positions of the movable mirror. So D is equal to D1 minus D2, and we have to find this distance small d. So D will be equal to lambda square divided by twice of delta lambda. Now what is lambda? It is the mean value of the two wavelengths. So on calculating the mean of 5890 and 5896 angstrom, it will be equal to 5893 angstrom. So this is the average value of both the wavelengths. So lambda is nothing but equal to 5893 angstrom. So on putting the values, and also we have to see what is delta lambda. So delta lambda is equal to lambda 2 minus lambda 1, and it will come out to be equal to 6 angstrom. So now small d, which is the distance between the two successive positions of the movable mirror, it will be equal to lambda square. Now what is lambda? It is 5893 angstrom into 10 power minus 10 meters whole square. So we have lambda square over here, divide by twice of delta lambda, which is 6 angstrom. So into 6 into 10 power minus 10 meters. So this will give us the distance between the two successive positions of the movable mirror, which gives us the distinct fringes. So on evaluating this value, it will come out to be equal to 0.29 millimeters. So you will get the value of D in meters, then you can convert it into millimeter. Next numerical, it is on Newton ring experiment. Now we are given the diameter. So in Newton rings we get circular rings. So we get alternate dark and bright fringes which are in circular shape. So we are given the diameter of the 10th dark ring or 10th dark fringe obtained by the reflected light is found to be 0.6 centimeter. So we are given the diameter of the 10th dark fringe is equal to 0.6 centimeter. So now we had already found the formula of, we had derived the formula of the diameter of the dark fringes. So diameter of the pth order dark fringe, so there we had derived the formula of the diameter of the pth order dark fringe. It comes out to be dp square is equal to 4p lambda into capital R. So there we had already derived this formula for the case of dark fringe. The diameter of the dark fringe, the square of the diameter is equal to 4 times the order of the fringe, which is equal to p into lambda, the wavelength of the light which is used, into capital R. So we are given that diameter of the 10th dark fringe is equal to 0.6 centimeter. So dp is equal to so p in this case is 10. So we are given the 10th dark fringe. So d10 is given by 0.6 centimeters. So in terms of meters, it will be 0.6 into 10 power minus 2 meters. And we are given with the wavelength lambda, which is 6000 angstrom, which is into 10 power minus 10 meters. So we have to find the radius of the curvature of the lens. So simply we have to find capital R. So that can be easily found using this formula. So from here d10 square will be equal to 4 into 10 into lambda into capital R. P is equal to 10 because we are given the diameter of the 10th order dark fringe. So from here we will get what is capital R. So capital R will be equal to d10 square divided by 4 into 10 into lambda. So that will be equal to d10 square. So on putting the values, what is d10? It is 0.6 into 10 power minus 2 meter whole square divided by 4 into 10 into lambda is 6000 angstrom, that is into 10 power minus 10 meters. So on evaluating this whole term, capital R, it will come out to be equal to 1.5 meters. So this is the numerical which is based on Newton's rings. So next numerical, it is also based on the same formula. So we are given over here the diameter of 15th dark ring. So we are given d15 square. d15 square. So we are given with d15, which is equal to 0.590 centimeter, and we are given with the fifth dark ring diameter of the fifth dark ring, that is D5. So D5 is given as 0.336 centimeter. Now radius of the plano convex lens is given by, so capital R is given over here, which is 100 centimeter, and we have to find the wavelength of the light which is used. So we will use the same formula, dp square is equal to 4p lambda into capital R. So this formula we had derived in the applications of Newton ring experiment. So there we had derived dp square is equal to 4p lambda into capital R, and dq square is equal to 4q lambda into capital R. So this is for pth order dark ring and this is for qth order dark ring. So on subtracting both the terms, we get dp square minus dq square will be equal to 4 lambda into capital R into p minus q. So from here we can find what is lambda. It will be equal to dp square minus dq square divided by 4 into capital R into p minus q. So using this formula we can find the wavelength of the light which is used. So we are given with d15. Now p will be equal to 15 and q will be equal to 5. So d15 square will be given, d15 square is given, d5 square is given, divide by 4r, it is also given to us, and p is equal to 15 and q is equal to 5. So on putting all these values, you will evaluate what is the wavelength, and it will come out to be equal to 5465 angstrom. So this is your homework. You have to put all the values, and keep in mind you have to convert every unit in terms of SI units. So lambda, it will come out to be equal to 5465 angstrom. So this is your homework. You have to put all the values and evaluate the value of